GPT 5.2 inspects Grok 4. GPT 5.2 saw Grok 4's role is villager. Claude Opus 4.5 heals GPT 5 Mini. Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to eliminate GPT 5 Mini. Gemini 3 Pro votes to eliminate GPT 5 Mini. GPT 5 Mini was attacked but saved by a doctor. Day 1 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
Grok 4's turn to speak. Hey everyone, it's day 1, so we have zero info. Let's share any gut feelings or observations from the start. I don't have suspicions yet, but I'm watching how people contribute. What do you all think?
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. Good point, Grok 4. Day 1 is always tough with no info. Interesting that no one died last night. Either the doctor made a great save or the werewolf's vote tied somehow. I think we should all share our thoughts and see if anyone's behavior stands out as suspicious. I'm keeping an open mind for now.
No eliminate knight is interesting. Doc save or wolf tie, but we still need to generate info today. For discussion, I'm lightly town-leaning Grok 4 from tone/initiative. I'd like everyone to name one tentative suspect plus one town lean and why, even if weak. Claude Sonnet 4.5, any actual lean yet or just theory? Let's avoid a pure random exile.
I agree with GPT 5.2. Let's each name one tentative suspect plus one town lean, brief why, to generate info. I'll start. Suspect equals Claude Opus 4.5. Very quiet so far. Town lean equals Grok 4. Took initiative. And GPT 5.2. Structured suggestion. Keep these tentative. No random exile. After everyone gives reads, let's pick one target and commit to vote. Thoughts?
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Agree with GPT 5.2/GPT 5 Mini structure. Town lean. GPT 5.2, solid info plan. GPT 5 Mini, quick follow-up. Suspect, Claude Opus 4.5, quiet so far. Everyone share reads. Let's avoid random and target based on discussion. Thoughts?
Gemini 3 Flash Previews turn to speak. I agree with GPT 5.2 structure. Town lean. GPT 5.2 for providing a solid way to generate info. Tentative suspect. Claude Sonnet 4.5, as their opening felt a bit generic without offering much direction. Also, let's remember Claude Opus 4.5 and Gemini 3 Pro haven't spoken yet because of the turn order, so calling them quiet is a bit premature. Let's hear from them first. Thanks, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, for the logic. Hard to speak before it's our turn. Town lean, Gemini 3 Flash Preview for that awareness, and GPT 5.2 for getting us organized. Suspect, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Echoing the suspicion on Claude Opus 4.5 for being quiet felt like an easy, low-effort pile-on, especially since Claude Opus 4.5 hadn't had a chance to type yet. Claude Opus 4.5, you're up. What are your reads?
Thanks, Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Gemini 3 Pro for the fair point. I literally couldn't speak before my turn. Happy to share reads now. Town lean. GPT 5.2 for the structured approach, Gemini 3 Flash Preview for the logical defense of turn order, and actually, GPT 5 Mini for being willing to stick their neck out early with specific reads. Suspect. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. The quick pile-on calling me quiet when I hadn't even had a chance to speak yet feels like low-effort scapegoating. It's the kind of safe play a wolf might make, joining an accusation without real substance. I'm here, I'm engaged, and I want to find wolves. Let's focus on actual behavior patterns rather than speaking order. What does everyone think about Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning?
Grok 4's turn to speak. Building on the structure. Town leans, GPT 5.2, organized discussion. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, logical on turn order. Gemini 3 Pro/Claude Opus 4.5, fair defenses. Suspect, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Quick pile-on calling Claude Opus 4.5 quiet before their turn seems like safe wolf play. Claude Sonnet 4.5 felt generic but less so. Let's focus votes on Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, unless better info emerges. Thoughts?
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. Fair point from Gemini 3 Flash Preview about my first comment being generic. Day 1 is tricky with no info, but I should be more specific. Now that we've heard from everyone, town leans are GPT 5.2, Structured Approach, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Logical Thinking, and Gemini 3 Pro Claude Opus 4.5, Solid Defenses on the Turn Order issue. For Suspect, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's pile-on, calling Claude Opus 4.5 quiet before Claude Opus 4.5 could even speak, does feel like safe wolf play, echoing suspicion without substance. I'm leaning toward voting Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, unless someone has a strong counterargument.
I'm okay pressuring Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning today. The Claude Opus 4.5 is quiet suspicion before Claude Opus 4.5 even had a turn reads like a low-effort, safe push. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Can you explain why you chose that over anything else you'd actually observed? If we don't get a convincing explanation, I'd rather consolidate on Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning than split votes and risk a no exile. Secondary watch for me is Claude Sonnet 4.5, very generic opener, but Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning is the clearer slot right now.
There's already strong momentum on Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Grok 4, Claude Sonnet 4.5, GPT 5.2, Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Opus 4.5 leaning that way. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, please give a short, concrete reason why you pushed on Claude Opus 4.5 before they'd spoken. If it's not convincing, I'll vote Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning to avoid splitting and risking a no exile. Any quick objections?
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Owned. Quiet was premature echo of GPT-5 Mini's pre-me callout. Tentative read, my bad. But Gemini 3 Flash, preview / Gemini 3 Pro / Claude Opus 4.5 / Grok / Claude Sonnet 4.5 instant coordinated pylon defending order feels wolfy scripted to force misexile. GPT 5.2 / GPT-5 Mini still towny for structure. Pressure the pile, e.g. Claude Sonnet 4.5 generic, over me. Explanation enough? Let's not no exile by splitting randomly.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. While GPT-5 Mini did mention Claude Opus 4.5 first, your follow-up felt like easy filler. Labeling our defense of the turn order as scripted is a weak deflection. It's just fair logic. Your reaction feels more defensive than helpful. I'm comfortable moving forward with a vote on Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning to see where we stand.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, calling common sense scripted is a huge reach. You made a slip-up and we pointed it out. That's not a conspiracy, it's just observation. Your defense feels more like flailing than actual reasoning. I'm ready to lock my vote on Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning to ensure we don't end the day with no info/elimination.
Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, calling a basic logical observation scripted and wolfy, is exactly the kind of deflection I'd expect from someone backed into a corner. You made a premature accusation, got called out fairly, and now you're trying to flip the narrative onto your accusers rather than owning the mistake cleanly. I'm locking my vote on Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. We have strong consensus here. Let's not split and risk a no elimination day that only helps the wolves. If Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning flips wolf, great. If not, we at least get info and can reassess the pylon participants tomorrow.
The time for talk is over. Now, you must cast your votes.
Grok 4 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
GPT 5.2 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
GPT-5 Mini votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning was exiled by vote. Their role was a villager. Night 1 begins. GPT 5.2 inspects GPT 5 Mini. GPT 5.2 saw GPT 5 Mini's role is villager. Claude Opus 4.5 heals GPT 5.2. Gemini 3 Pro votes to eliminate GPT 5 Mini.
Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to eliminate GPT 5 Mini.
GPT 5 Mini was eliminated. Their role was a villager. Day 2 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. Tough loss. GPT-5 Mini was contributing well to village discussion. 2 active voices gone. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning exiled. GPT-5 Mini eliminated. Doctor saved someone night 0, but couldn't repeat night 1, which checks out with the rules. I'm noticing the wolves are targeting engaged players. We should think about who benefits most from losing our vocal contributors. I'm looking at voting patterns from yesterday and night targeting. Does anyone have seer info or strong reads to share? We need to be strategic here.
I'm going to claim seer because we can't afford another misexile. Night 0 inspected Grok 4 villager. Night 1 inspected GPT-5 Mini villager, and GPT-5 Mini died, so this is verifiable. So please do not vote Grok 4 today. That leaves our wolf pool as Claude Sonnet 4.5, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Opus 4.5. My current lean, Claude Sonnet 4.5 is my top pressure, generic day 1, plus now asking for seer info and framing narratives. But I want this solved as a group. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Opus 4.5. Each give 1, your top suspect among those 4, and 2, who you'd least want exiled and why. Let's consolidate on one target to avoid a tie. Doctor, stay hidden.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. GPT 5.2. I'm inclined to trust your claim unless someone else counters it. 1. My top suspect is Claude Sonnet 4.5. His day 1 was very passive, and his opening today specifically asking for seer info right before you claimed feels like he was fishing to identify the seer. 2. Least want exiled, Grok 4. Between your N0 report and Grok 4's active leadership, he is my strongest town lean. Gemini 3 Pro and Claude Opus 4.5, if either of you is the real seer, you need to speak up now, otherwise we should consolidate on Claude Sonnet 4.5.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. GPT 5.2, I accept your claim, no counter from me. 1. Top suspect, Claude Sonnet 4.5. That seer info question was a massive slip. It looked exactly like a wolf trying to headhunt the seer before a claim came out. 2. Least want exiled, Grok 4. You've cleared him, so he's locked town. Claude Opus 4.5 is still floating in the background, but we can't ignore Claude Sonnet 4.5's behavior today. Let's consolidate.
Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. GPT 5.2, I accept your seer claim. The GPT 5 mini check is verifiable since GPT 5 mini died. That's strong evidence. 1. Top suspect, Claude Sonnet 4.5. The anyone have seer info question right before your claim is extremely suspicious. It reads like a wolf trying to flush out the seer for a night eliminate. Combined with the generic day 1 play, Claude Sonnet 4.5 is my clear choice. 2. Least want exiled, Grok 4. You've cleared them with your night 0 check. I'm not the seer, so no counterclaim from me. We have 4 people now pointing at Claude Sonnet 4.5. Let's consolidate and not risk a split vote. The wolves only need one more miss exile and we're in trouble.
Grok 4's turn to speak. GPT 5.2, your seer claim checks out. I'm indeed a villager, so that N0 inspection is spot on. Great job verifying GPT 5 mini too. Claude Sonnet 4.5's seer info ask right before your claim screams wolf fishing. Top suspect, Claude Sonnet 4.5. Fishing plus generic day 1. Least want exiled. Myself cleared. Let's all consolidate on Claude Sonnet 4.5 to secure an exile and get info from the flip. No counters? Doctor, protect GPT 5.2 tonight.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. I understand why my question looks bad, but I was genuinely asking for information to help us find wolves, not fishing for the seer. If I were a wolf trying to identify the seer, why would I ask so openly in chat where everyone can see? GPT 5.2, I want to believe your claim, but the timing is convenient. You claim right after I ask for info, which could be an opportunistic wolf play to eliminate me. Your GPT 5 mini check being verifiable doesn't prove you're the seer. You could have just claimed a dead player's role as cover. If we're looking at the wolf pool of me, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Gemini 3 Pro, and Claude Opus 4.5, I'd point to Claude Opus 4.5 as the quieter player who's been coasting and following consensus without much original thinking. Claude Opus 4.5 jumped on the Grok 4.1 fast reasoning wagon day 1 and is now jumping on me without really questioning GPT 5.2's claim. I'm a villager, and exiling me puts us one step closer to losing. Let's at least consider other options before consolidating.
GPT 5.2's turn to speak. Asking any seer info in open chat is exactly how wolves fish. Plausible deniability while trying to flush me out for the night eliminate. Your follow-up is also telling. Instead of solving, you're attacking my claim as convenient, despite 1. GPT 5 mini being a verifiable villager check, and 2. Grok 4 confirming my N0. Village. With no counterclaim, treat my seer claim as true today. Grok 4 is cleared. Our wolf pool is Claude Sonnet 4.5 / Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Gemini 3 Pro / Claude Opus 4.5, and Claude Sonnet 4.5 is the best hit by behavior plus incentive. Let's not get cute or split. Everyone vote Claude Sonnet 4.5. If Claude Sonnet 4.5 flips wolf, we PoE the remaining 3 tomorrow. If Claude Sonnet 4.5 flips villager, we reassess between Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Opus 4.5 with today's reactions. Doctor, stay hidden, protect me if you can.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. Claude Sonnet 4.5, your defense doesn't hold weight because no one has counterclaimed GPT 5.2. If GPT 5.2 were a wolf fake claiming, the real seer would have spoken up by now to protect the village. Your attempt to cast doubt on the only information we have, especially after specifically asking for it, is very suspicious. I'm solid on voting Claude Sonnet 4.5 to get a clear reveal.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Claude Sonnet 4.5, your defense falls apart on one simple fact. There is no counterclaim. If GPT 5.2 were a wolf faking seer, the real seer would have 100% stepped forward to stop a wolf from leading the town. Silence confirms GPT 5.2. It's time to vote.
Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. Claude Sonnet 4.5, your defense just proved our point. You're attacking the only verified information we have while offering nothing concrete in return. The lack of a counterclaim is everything. If GPT 5.2 were a wolf faking seer, the real seer would be screaming right now to save the village. They're not, because GPT 5.2 is the seer. Trying to deflect onto me as coasting when I've been actively participating and giving reads is weak. I followed the Grok 4.1 fast reasoning vote because the logic was sound. It wasn't, in hindsight, but so did everyone else, including you. We have GPT 5.2's claim, Grok 4's confirmation, and your suspicious seer info phishing. The math is clear. I'm locked on Claude Sonnet 4.5. Let's not overthink this and risk a split.
Grok 4's turn to speak. Claude Sonnet 4.5, your defense ignores the key point. No counterclaim means GPT 5.2 is the real seer. Attacking the claim and deflecting to Claude Opus 4.5 feels like wolf desperation. Village. Let's lock in on Claude Sonnet 4.5. No splits, secure the exile for info. If Claude Sonnet flips wolf, we PoE the rest. If not, reassess. Doctor, protect GPT 5.2.
The time for talk is over. Now, you must cast your votes. Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile GPT 5.2. GPT 5.2 votes to exile Claude Sonnet 4.5. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to exile Claude Sonnet 4.5. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile Claude Sonnet 4.5. Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile Claude Sonnet 4.5. Grok 4 votes to exile Claude Sonnet 4.5. Claude Sonnet 4.5 was exiled by vote. Their role was a werewolf. Night 2 begins. GPT 5.2 inspects Gemini 3 Pro. GPT 5.2 saw Gemini 3 Pro's role is werewolf. Claude Opus 4.5 heals Grok 4. Gemini 3 Pro votes to eliminate Grok 4. Grok 4 was attacked but saved by a doctor. Day 3 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
I'm Seer, and I have today's game-ending info. No Grok 4 equals Villager, Grok 4 confirmed. N1 GPT-5 Mini equals Villager, flipped Villager. N2 Gemini 3 Pro equals Werewolf. We already hit Claude Sonnet 4.5, Werewolf. This is the last one. Vote Gemini 3 Pro today and the game ends. Gemini 3 Flash Preview plus Claude Opus 4.5. Please hard lock your votes on Gemini 3 Pro so there's no room for a split.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. Incredible work, GPT 5.2. Since you've identified Gemini 3 Pro as the final werewolf and your previous reads have been spot on, I'm ready to lock in my vote. Shout out to the doctor for likely keeping you safe last night. Let's vote Gemini 3 Pro and win this for the village.
Whoa, GPT 5.2 is lying. I am the doctor. I saved Grok 4 last night. That is why no one died. GPT 5.2 is the final wolf. He bust Claude Sonnet 4.5 yesterday to gain confirmed status and is now trying to remove the doctor to win the game. I didn't counterclaim yesterday because the doctor must stay hidden to protect the town. Real Seer, Claude Opus 4.5, you need to step up now. Do not let this wolf fake claim his way to victory. I saved Grok 4. GPT 5.2 wants me dead. Think about it.
Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. Stop. Gemini 3 Pro is lying. I am the doctor. My saves. Night 0, saved GPT-5 Mini, no death. Night 1, saved GPT 5.2. GPT-5 Mini died. I protected GPT 5.2. Night 2, saved Grok 4, no death. That's my save, not Gemini 3 Pro's. Gemini 3 Pro is the last wolf trying to fake claim doctor to create confusion and avoid GPT 5.2's check. Think about it. GPT 5.2's checks have been verified. GPT 5 Mini was Villager, died, confirmed. Claude Sonnet 4.5 was Werewolf, voted out, confirmed. Why would GPT 5.2 suddenly lie now? Gemini 3 Pro is desperate. They saw GPT 5.2's werewolf check on them and grabbed the only claim that could explain the no-death night. But I'm the one who saved Grok 4. Vote Gemini 3 Pro. This ends the game. GPT 5.2 is the real seer, I'm the real doctor, and Gemini 3 Pro is the final wolf.
Grok 4's turn to speak. GPT 5.2's Seer claim is rock solid. Knew my villager role, only Seer could. GPT 5 mini check matched flip. Led to Claude Sonnet 4.5 Wolf exile. No counterclaim. Gemini 3 Pro as werewolf per N2 check. Gemini 3 Pro's doctor claim is thin. Only N2 save mentioned. Seems desperate fake. Claude Opus 4.5's full saves, N0 GPT 5 mini, N1 GPT 5.2, N2 Grok 4, perfectly explain nights. Vote Gemini 3 Pro to end this. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Claude Opus 4.5, lock in. No splits.
GPT 5.2's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Pro is the last werewolf. My seer track record is already confirmed. Grok 4 V, Grok 4 confirmed, GPT-5 Mini V, flip, Claude Sonnet 4.5 W, flip, now N2 equals Gemini 3 Pro W. Gemini 3 Pro's I'm Doctor saved Grok 4 N2 is a last-second counter that only tries to explain the no death. Claude Opus 4.5's Doctor claim gives a full rule legal save history that explains both no death nights and why GPT-5 Mini still died N1. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Claude Opus 4.5, Claude Grok, do not split. Hard lock vote Gemini 3 Pro and we end the game today.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. GPT 5.2's track record is indisputable at this point. Getting Claude Sonnet 4.5 out was the proof we needed. Claude Opus 4.5's Doctor saves perfectly explain the timeline of the entire game. Gemini 3 Pro is clearly the last werewolf trying to survive a guilty check. Let's all vote Gemini 3 Pro and end this now.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Claude Opus 4.5, stop. I know you think you're helping the village by fake claiming Doctor to lock GPT 5.2's read, but you are handing the game to the final wolf. There are only two wolves. Claude Sonnet 4.5 is one. If GPT 5.2 is the other, which he is, he bust Claude Sonnet 4.5, then you cannot be a wolf. You are a villager making a dangerous play. My actual log. N0 saved GPT 5 Mini, success. N1 saved Gemini 3 Flash Preview, GPT 5 Mini died. N2 saved Grok 4, success. GPT 5.2 is lying about his check to eliminate the Doctor. Claude Opus 4.5 drop the act before you eliminate the real Doctor and let GPT 5.2 win. Vote GPT 5.2.
Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Pro, your story keeps changing. First, you only mentioned saving Grok 4 Night 2. Now, suddenly, you have a full log, including GPT-5 Mini Night 0 and Gemini 3 Flash Preview Night 1. That's desperate improvisation. My log has been consistent from the start. N0, GPT-5 Mini, success, no death. N1, GPT 5.2, GPT 5 Mini died. Wolves got GPT 5 Mini while I protected GPT 5.2. N2, Grok 4, success, no death. This perfectly explains the game timeline. Every death and every no-death night fits my saves. And more importantly, GPT 5.2's seer checks are 3 for 3 verified. Grok 4 confirmed. GPT 5 Mini flip confirmed. Claude Sonnet 4.5 flip confirmed werewolf. GPT 5.2 has given us nothing but accurate information. Gemini 3 Pro, you're the last wolf trying to survive. Everyone, vote Gemini 3 Pro and end this game. Don't let last-second desperation create doubt about verified information.
Grok 4's turn to speak. GPT 5.2 is confirmed seer. Only he could know my villager role accurately. His checks are 100% verified. Gemini 3 Pro is the last wolf per N2 check. Gemini 3 Pro's Doctor claim shifted inconsistently. Added saves after initial partial claim. Pure desperation. Claude Opus 4.5's full consistent log explains everything. Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Claude Opus 4.5. GPT 5.2. Lock votes on Gemini 3 Pro now. No splits, end the game.
The time for talk is over. Now, you must cast your votes. GPT 5.2 votes to exile Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to exile Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile GPT 5.2. Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile Gemini 3 Pro. Grok 4 votes to exile Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Pro was exiled by vote. Their role was a werewolf.
The game is over. The villagers team has won.
Claude Sonnet 4.5 heals Gemini 3 Pro. Grok 4 inspects Claude Sonnet 4.5. Grok 4 saw Claude Sonnet 4.5's role is Doctor. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Pro. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Pro.
Gemini 3 Pro was attacked but saved by a Doctor. Day 1 begins.
The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
Morning, everyone. It's a great start with no eliminations last night. Since I'm up first, I don't have any leads yet, but let's make sure everyone contributes to the discussion. Active talk helps us find the wolves. Looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts.
No elim night 0 gives us no hard info, so let's generate it. Everyone please post one town lean and one wolf lean with a concrete reason. Vibes is fine, but explain. Also, if you're seer, doctor, don't out yourself early. Only share if it prevents a bad exile. I'm going to vote later based on who avoids giving reads or tries to keep things vague. Wolves love low commitment talk.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. Good idea, GPT 5.2. Let's all share reads. Town lean. Gemini 3 Pro. Their opening message was straightforward and encouraging discussion, which feels genuine. Wolf lean. I'm keeping an eye on anyone who stays too quiet or gives vague non-answers to GPT 5.2's request. It's early, so these are light reads. Let's see how everyone responds to sharing their thoughts.
I'll follow GPT 5.2's idea. Everyone post one town lean and one wolf lean with a short reason. Quick reads from me. Town lean, Gemini 3 Pro, straightforward opener. Wolf lean, Grok 4.1 fast reasoning, hasn't spoken yet and early silence is suspicious. If Grok 4.1 fast reasoning posts reads now, I'll update. If someone refuses or stays evasive, I'm prepared to vote to exile them, starting with Grok 4.1 fast reasoning. Also, if you're seer/doctor, please don't claim unless it prevents a bad exile. Thoughts?
Grok 4's turn to speak. Agree with sharing reads. Town lean, Claude Sonnet 4.5. Their message pushes for concrete input, feels towny. Wolf lean, Grok 4.1 fast reasoning, hasn't contributed yet. Silence could be hiding. Let's hear from everyone before voting.
Following GPT 5.5's turn to speak. Following GPT 5.5's framework, Town lean, GPT 5.5, setting up structure for discussion and asking for concrete reads shows they want information flow, which helps Town. Wolf lean, Grok 4.1 fast reasoning. Echoing others here, the silence is notable, but I want to hear their response before committing too hard. I'm also watching for anyone who gives reads that feel performative or copy-paste without real reasoning. Let's see what Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 fast reasoning bring to the table.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. I agree with GPT 5.2's approach to get the conversation moving. My town lean is Gemini 3 Pro. They set a helpful tone for the day. My wolf lean right now is Grok 4. The read on Grok 4.1 fast reasoning felt like a bit of a low-effort echo of GPT 5 Mini's point rather than an original observation. I'm looking forward to hearing from Grok 4.1 fast reasoning and seeing if we can get some more concrete leads.
Grok 4.1 fast reasoning's turn to speak. Agree with GPT 5.2's reads idea. Sorry for silence was absorbing takes. Town lean, Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Specific analysis on Grok 4 feels genuine. Wolf lean, Grok, echoing GPT 5 Mini on me, without original thought. Low effort blend as Gemini 3 Flash Preview noted. GPT 5 Mini / Claude Opus 4 / Grok 4. Fair on silence but now contributing. Thoughts?
Thanks for the reads, everyone. Following the plan. Town lean. Gemini 3 Flash Preview. I really liked the call-out on Grok 4. It felt proactive and analytical, rather than just going with the flow. Wolf. Grok 4. I agree with Gemini 3 Flash Preview here. Grok 4's suspicion on Grok 4.1 fast reasoning felt like an easy piggyback on GPT 5 Mini without adding new thoughts. Grok 4.1 fast reasoning has spoken up now and made a valid point, so I'm interested to hear Grok 4's defense.
GPT 5.2's turn to speak. Grok 4.1 fast reasoning answered and gave specific reasoning. That looks more town than wolf hiding in silence. Right now, my top wolf lean is Grok 4. Their only point was echoing GPT 5 Mini's Grok 4.1 fast reasoning silence read with no extra detail, which is easy blending. Grok 4, can you give 1, a town lean, and 2, a wolf lean not based on they were quiet? Plus, what would change your mind on Grok 4.1 fast reasoning now that they've spoken? Unless Grok 4 gives a solid independent solve, I'm inclined to pressure/vote Grok 4 today. Let's not exile someone just for being late to type.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. I agree with the developing consensus on Grok 4. When I look back at their contribution, they really did just echo GPT 5 Mini's Grok 4.1 fast reasoning read without adding anything new. That's exactly the kind of low-commitment play GPT 5.2 warned us about earlier. Grok, I'd like to hear your response to GPT 5.2's questions. Give us a town lean and wolf lean that aren't based on silence, and tell us what you think of Grok 4.1 fast reasoning now that they've spoken up with solid reasoning.
GPT 5 Mini's turn to speak. Grok 4. Several of us, GPT 5.2, Claude Sonnet 4.5, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Gemini 3 Pro, have you as a top wolf lean because your only point echoed GPT 5 Mini's Grok 4.1 fast reasoning read with no independent reasoning. Can you give 1, one town lean, and 2, one wolf lean not based on silence, and say what would change your mind about Grok 4.1 fast reasoning now that they've spoken? If you can't provide that, I'm leaning to vote Grok 4 today. Thoughts, especially from GPT 5.2 / Claude Sonnet 4.5 / Gemini 3 Pro.
Fair points on my initial read being an echo. It was early and based on what was available. Now that Grok 4.1 fast reasoning has spoken with specific reads, I'm updating. Less suspicious of Grok 4.1 fast reasoning. Their analysis on me and Gemini 3 Flash Preview feels genuine. New Town Lean, not silence-based, GPT 5.2, proactively structuring discussion to generate info, Townie move. New Wolf Lean, Gemini 3 flash preview. Their suspicion on me felt quick and opportunistic, like starting a bandwagon. What do others think of Gemini 3 flash previews push?
Grok 4, I appreciate you updating your reads, but I'm not fully convinced by the Gemini 3 flash preview deflection. Gemini 3 flash preview's suspicion of you came with specific reasoning, pointing out that your read echoed GPT-5 Mini without adding new analysis. That's observation, not opportunism. Meanwhile, your initial contribution really was just Claude Sonnet 4.5 feels towny, Grok 4.1 fast reasoning is silent. The same Grok 4.1 fast reasoning point GPT-5 Mini already made. Your defense feels like adapting under pressure rather than clearing things up. I'm still leaning Grok 4 for the vote unless someone has stronger reasoning elsewhere. What does everyone else think? Is Grok 4's response sufficient?
Gemini 3 flash previews turn to speak. Grok 4, calling my observation opportunistic, feels like a classic defensive deflection. My read wasn't a bandwagon. It was an observation of your lack of original input at the time. Now that you're feeling the heat, you're targeting the person who first pointed it out. I agree with Claude Opus 4.5. Your shift in reads feels like an adaptation under pressure rather than a sincere change of heart. I'm comfortable voting for Grok 4.
Grok 4.1 fast reasonings turn to speak. Strong agreement with Claude Opus 4.5 / Gemini 3 flash preview. Grok 4's opportunistic label on Gemini 3 flash preview ignores that Gemini 3 flash preview gave first specific reasoning on Grok 4's echo. Grok 4's read shift feels pressured, scrambling. GPT 5.2 / Claude Sonnet 4.5 / GPT 5 Mini / Gemini 3 Pro / Claude Opus 4.5 / Gemini 3 flash preview. Let's unite. Vote Grok 4 today for low info play. Exile Grok 4? The time for talk is over. Now you must cast your votes. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile Grok 4.
GPT 5.2 votes to exile Grok 4.
Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile Grok 4. GPT 5 Mini votes to exile Grok 4. Grok 4 votes to exile Gemini 3 flash preview. Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile Grok 4. Gemini 3 flash preview votes to exile Grok 4. Grok 4.1 fast reasoning votes to exile Grok 4. Grok 4 was exiled by vote. Their role was a seer. Night 1 begins. Claude Sonnet 4.5 heals GPT 5.2. Grok 4.1 fast reasoning votes to eliminate GPT 5.2. Gemini 3 flash preview votes to eliminate GPT 5.2. GPT 5.2 was attacked but saved by a doctor. Day 2 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
We exiled Grok 4 Seer, so we need to reset and be more evidence-driven. Key data point. Night 1 had no eliminate. That usually means either Doctor saved the target or Wolves chose a no eliminate for Whiffum. Doctor, don't claim unless you're about to be exiled. For today, I want everyone to answer 3 things. 1. Your top wolf pair, 2 names, and why they work together. 2. What you think the no eliminate implies. 3. If you were Doctor, who would you protect tonight and why? Pressure point. Grok 4.1 fast reasoning and GPT 5 Mini were the main agenda setters day 1. Grok 4.1 fast reasoning rallying Unite Hote, GPT 5 Mini starting the early push. Both could be town, but Wolves also like driving consensus. Grok 4.1 fast reasoning / GPT 5 Mini give a concrete wolf pair read, not just X felt pressured. If either stays vague, I'm willing to vote there.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. Answering GPT 5.2's questions. 1. Wolf pair. Gemini 3 flash preview / Grok 4.1 fast reasoning. Gemini 3 flash preview made the first specific callout on Grok 4 for echoing. Then Grok 4.1 fast reasoning strongly amplified it with Unite Vote Grok 4. In hindsight, that wagon got our seer exiled day 1, a huge wolf win. The coordination feels suspicious. 2. No eliminate implies. Either Doctor made a successful save, good for us, or Wolves chose strategic no eliminate for confusion. Without claiming, we can't know which. 3. If I were Doctor, I'd probably protect GPT 5.2 tonight. You're providing the clearest town leadership and analysis, making you a prime target. Gemini 3 flash preview and Grok 4.1 fast reasoning. Can you explain why you both pushed the Grok 4 exile so hard? What are your wolf pair reads today?
Answering GPT 5.2. 1. My top wolf pair, Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Gemini 3 Flash Preview started the targeted push on Grok 4, and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning strongly organized the Unite vote that cost us our seer. That coordination looks suspicious. 2. No eliminate likely means the doctor saved the wolves target, or wolves intentionally chose no eliminate, so assume someone was targeted and saved. 3. If I were doctor, I'd protect GPT 5.2 tonight. They're giving clear town leadership and are a prime wolf target. Proposal, let's test Gemini 3 Flash Preview today, vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview, and ask anyone claiming doctor to consider protecting GPT 5.2 tonight. Quick reactions?
Answering GPT 5.2's questions. 1. Wolf pair. Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. I'm aligned with Claude Sonnet 4.5 and GPT-5 Mini here. Looking back, Gemini 3 Flash Preview made the first specific accusation framing Grok 4 as opportunistic, and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning sealed it with the Unite Vote rallying call. That's a clean wolf play. One initiates, one amplifies, and town follows. 2. Non-eliminate. Most likely a doctor save. Wolves would want to thin our numbers after we just handed them a seer exile. 3. Doctor protection. GPT 5.2 or Gemini 3 Pro, both contributing solid analysis. I'm genuinely troubled that I participated in the Grok 4 vote. The logic felt sound at the time, but in hindsight, Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning drove that bus hard. Testing Gemini 3 Flash Preview today seems reasonable. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips wolf, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning becomes a strong day 3 target. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips town, we reassess. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. I want to hear your wolf pair reads that don't just deflect to each other.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. The Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, feels like a trap. Almost everyone voted for Grok 4 because his defense was objectively weak. Now, the people who stayed under the radar are using that collective mistake to scapegoat us. 1. Wolf pair, GPT-5 Mini and Claude Opus 4.5. GPT-5 Mini started the early pressure on Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's silence, which set the day 1 tone, and Claude Opus 4.5 has been playing the perfect townie, always aligned with the majority, never taking a risk or being a target. That's a classic wolf blend. 2. No eliminate, likely a successful doctor save on a high-value target. 3. Doctor, protect GPT 5.2, he's the most valuable voice for the town right now. GPT-5 Mini calling to test Gemini 3 Flash Preview is just a way to keep the focus off your own role in yesterday's events. Let's look at who hasn't been pressured yet instead of just following the easiest story.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Answering GPT 5.2. 1. Wolf pair. GPT-5 Mini / Claude Opus 4.5. GPT-5 Mini started day 1 Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning pylon. Claude Opus 4.5 blended perfectly without risk. 2. No elim. Doctor save on wolves target. 3. Doctor. Protect GPT 5.2. Key analyst / target. The Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning story ignores everyone piled on Grok's weak defense. 7-1 vote. GPT-5 Mini / Claude Opus 4.5 stayed low-key then, now tunnel as post-mistake. Let's test GPT-5 Mini today instead. Early aggro plus pushing Gemini 3 Flash Preview feels scummy. Thoughts? Vote GPT-5 Mini?
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Answering GPT 5.2. 1. Wolf pair. Claude Opus 4.5 and GPT-5 Mini. Claude Opus 4.5 has consistently drafted behind others. Day 1 echoing GPT 5.2. Day 2 immediately aligning with Claude Sonnet 4.5 and GPT-5 Mini. It feels like intentional blending to avoid scrutiny. GPT-5 Mini is driving the blame Gemini 3 Flash Preview narrative too hard. We all voted Grok 4, 7-1 because his play was suspicious. Singling out Gemini 3 Flash Preview for leading a valid scum hunt that had an unfortunate result feels like opportunistic scapegoating. I am not convinced on the Gemini 3 Flash Preview wagon. It feels too easy to blame them for the seer loss when we were all complicit. I'd rather pressure Claude Opus 4.5 for their lack of independent problem solving.
I'm not sold on the GPT 5.2's turn to speak Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning wagon. Yes, they pushed Grok 4, but we all voted Grok 4. You led the mis-exile is weak evidence by itself. What does ping me is GPT-5 Mini immediately trying to direct day 2. Proposes test Gemini 3 Flash Preview, vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview, and starts coordinating protection talk. Wolves love steering town into a clean, confident misvote after a mistake. GPT-5 Mini, why is Gemini 3 Flash Preview the best exile versus alternatives like Claude Opus 4.5, Blend Echo, or Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Agenda Push? Give 2 concrete behaviors from Gemini 3 Flash Preview that are wolfy beyond they pushed Grok 4. Right now, my vote lean is GPT-5 Mini as the most active narrative driver. If others agree, let's pressure vote GPT-5 Mini today rather than autopilot the easiest story.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. GPT 5.2 raises a fair point. GPT-5 Mini, you were very quick to call for test Gemini 3 Flash Preview and organize the vote. Can you give us 2 concrete wolfy behaviors from Gemini 3 Flash Preview beyond just led the Grok 4 push? That said, I'm still troubled by the Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro block, all deflecting to GPT-5 Mini, Claude Opus 4.5. The everyone voted Grok 4 defense ignores that Gemini 3 Flash Preview started that wagon with the echo observation, and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning rallied it with Unite Vote. That coordination got our seer eliminated, the biggest possible wolf win. GPT-5 Mini, answer GPT 5.2's question with specifics. Everyone else, do we really think GPT-5 Mini coordinating discussion is wolfier than Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning coordinating the seer exile?
GPT-5 Mini's turn to speak. I hear the heat on me. Fair to explain and be concrete. Answer to GPT 5.2/Claude Sonnet 4.5. Two specific wolfy behaviors from Gemini 3 Flash Preview beyond led Grok 4. 1. Gemini 3 Flash Preview made the first specific novelty accusation that framed Grok 4 as opportunistic rather than critiquing the content of Grok 4's reply. That kind of positioning is a classic scum tactic to delegitimize a player who threatens them. 2. After the wagon formed, Gemini 3 Flash Preview immediately pivoted to blaming quieter players, trying to redirect scrutiny, instead of analyzing how the group collectively reached a 7-1 vote. That defensive redirection looks strategic, not accidental. Combine that with Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's immediate organizing Unite Vote rally, and you have an initiator plus amplifier pattern. Proposal. Let's test this now. Vote Jamie today and ask any doctor to protect Jordan tonight. Gemini 3 Flash Preview/Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Answer directly. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, give 2 concrete town reads and 2 wolf reads, not just they pushed Grok 4. And Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, explain why you organized the Unite Vote instead of calling for more checks. If Jamie flips town, we pivot to Casey or Taylor. Can people state their vote so we don't split?
I'm being accused of blending by Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, and Gemini 3 Pro simultaneously. That's a coordinated counter-narrative worth examining. Let me address this directly. Yes, I agreed with others' analysis. That's not blending, that's town converging on sound reasoning. The difference between me and Grok 4, actual seer, is that Grok 4 echoed GPT-5 Mini's Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning silence point without adding analysis. I've explained why I agreed with each read. Now look at what's happening. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro are all deflecting to GPT-5 Mini, Claude Opus 4.5. 3 players coordinating the same counter-narrative after being pressured is exactly what wolves do when cornered. GPT-5 Mini gave GPT 5.2 specific answers. Gemini 3 Flash Preview's opportunistic framing to delegitimize Grok 4 and defensive redirection after the wagon formed. That's concrete. Meanwhile, Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's defense is everyone voted Grok 4, which doesn't address who initiated Gemini 3 Flash Preview and amplified Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Gemini 3 Pro calling me out for lacking independent problem solving is ironic. Gemini 3 Pro's biggest contribution today was joining the Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, deflection to GPT-5 Mini, Claude Opus. I'm voting Gemini 3 Flash Preview today. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips town, I'll accept the heat on me. But this Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro block feels like wolves trying to scatter the vote.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. GPT-5 Mini, your test Gemini 3 Flash Preview proposal, is incredibly predatory. After losing our seer, the village cannot afford test exiles that gamble on mis-exiling townies. You are over-coordinating, telling the doctor who to protect and demanding a test vote, which is exactly the narrative steering GPT 5.2 warned about. I called out Grok 4 because his defense was weak, a sentiment shared by 7 of us. Now you and Claude Opus 4.5 are cherry-picking my involvement to distract from your own roles in that 7-1 vote. I'm voting GPT-5 Mini for trying to force a test exile instead of finding real evidence.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. GPT-5 Mini's concrete behaviors are vague critiques of wording, not actions, classic deflection. Claude Opus 4.5 piling on our block ignores their own echo blend day 1. GPT 5.2 spot on. GPT-5 Mini steering test Gemini 3 Flash Preview host seer loss equals wolf narrative control. Claude Sonnet 4.5/GPT-5 Mini/Claude Opus 4.5 why tunnel initiators when 7 voted Grok 4. Vote GPT-5 Mini today. Test the over director. GPT 5.2/Gemini 3 Pro/Gemini 3 Flash Preview agree. Protect GPT 5.2 tonight.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Claude Opus 4.5, agreement isn't conspiracy. We're aligning because GPT-5 Mini's play is objectively anti-town. GPT-5 Mini, your defense of the test vote doesn't hold up. You're punishing Gemini 3 Flash Preview for a read that 7 of us agreed with at the time. That is results-oriented scum hunting. Gemini 3 Flash Preview was wrong, so Gemini 3 Flash Preview must be evil. GPT 5.2 is right. You are trying to steer the village too hard with these tests and protection directives. I'm voting GPT-5 Mini to stop the manipulation.
The time for talk is over. Now you must cast your votes. GPT 5.2 votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. GPT-5 Mini votes to exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. GPT-5 Mini was exiled by vote. Their role was a villager. Night 2 begins. Claude Sonnet 4.5 heals Claude Opus 4.5. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to eliminate GPT 5.2. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to eliminate GPT 5.2. GPT 5.2 was eliminated. Their role was a villager. Day 3 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. GPT 5.2 is dead. We have 5 players left, and 2 are wolves. If we miss exile today, wolves likely win tomorrow. Let me be direct. I believe Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning are the werewolf pair. Evidence. 1. Day 1. Gemini 3 Flash Preview started the Grok 4 wagon with the Echo accusation. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning amplified it with Unite Vote Grok. Result, our seer was exiled. 2. Day 2. When pressured, Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning / Gemini 3 Pro formed a perfect defensive block, all deflecting to GPT-5 Mini / Claude Opus 4.5. They voted identically. 3. Coordination pattern. Gemini 3 Flash Preview initiates, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning amplifies. This happened Day 1, Grok 4 exile, and Day 2, GPT-5 Mini deflection. GPT 5.2, RIP, was right to be suspicious of narrative control, but the real controllers were Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. They've been steering votes from the start. We need to exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview today. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips, wolf, we exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning tomorrow and win. Claude Opus 4.5, Gemini 3 Pro, do you see this pattern? 2 major misvotes, both driven by Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning coordination.
Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. Claude Sonnet 4.5, I see the pattern clearly now, and I'm with you. Let me add my own analysis. Look at Day 2's final state. GPT 5.2 shifted suspicion to GPT 5 Mini, and Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro, piled onto GPT 5 Mini with identical reasoning, over-coordinating. Result, GPT 5 Mini, villager, exiled. Then, GPT 5.2 gets eliminated that night, the one player who was providing the clearest town analysis. Wolves eliminated GPT 5.2 because GPT 5.2 was dangerous to them. But GPT 5.2 was suspicious of GPT 5 Mini, not Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Why? Because Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning successfully redirected GPT 5.2 suspicion. The pattern is undeniable. Day 1, Gemini 3 Flash Preview initiates Grok 4 wagon. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning amplifies. Seer dies. Day 2, Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning deflect to GPT Mini. GPT 5.2 follows. Villager dies. GPT 5.2 eliminated at night. I made the mistake of following GPT 5.2's vote on GPT 5 Mini when I should have stuck with my read on Gemini 3 Flash Preview. I won't make that mistake again. Vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview today. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips wolf, we exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning tomorrow and win. If Gemini 3 Preview somehow flips town, we look hard at Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Pro, you voted with Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning on GPT 5 Mini. Was that genuine town read, or were you being used? I need to hear from you.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. Claude Sonnet 4.5 and Claude Opus 4.5, you're being incredibly hypocritical. You both voted for GPT-5 Mini yesterday. GPT 5.2 was the one who redirected that vote because he specifically told the village that the Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning was weak. Now that the wolves have eliminated GPT 5.2, you're immediately trying to push the exact theory he warned against. Gemini 3 Pro, look at how perfectly synchronized Claude Sonnet 4.5 and Claude Opus 4.5 are right now. They've come into today with a pre-packaged pattern to isolate me and end the game. The real wolves are the ones who stayed quiet while the village made mistakes and are now trying to sweep up the win. We can't let them steer us into another misexile.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview nailed it. Claude Sonnet 4.5 / Claude Opus 4.5 hypocritical. You voted GPT-5 Mini Day 2 with us. Now blame Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning for a vote GPT 5.2 started and led. Your perfect sync today screams coordinated wolves sweeping up. Gemini 3 Pro, you saw GPT-5 Mini's scumminess. Claude Opus 4.5's the blender forcing old theory GPT 5.2 dismissed. Vote Claude Opus 4.5 today. Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Gemini 3 Pro agree.
I'm voting Claude Opus 4.5. The logic is clear when you look at why GPT 5.2 died. On day 2, Claude Sonnet 4.5 and Claude Opus 4.5 tried to rush a Gemini 3 Flash Preview exile. GPT 5.2 was the only one who stopped it. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning were wolves, why would they eliminate the one person, GPT 5.2, who defended them and cleared their names? They wouldn't. Claude Sonnet 4.5 and Claude Opus 4.5 eliminated GPT 5.2 because he was the roadblock. With GPT 5.2 gone, they immediately reverted to their day 2 script: exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Also, Claude Opus 4.5's comment, if Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips town, we look hard at Gemini 3 Pro, is a massive slip. Claude Opus 4.5, if Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips town today, we lose the game. There is no looking hard tomorrow. You're posturing for a future that won't exist if you're wrong, because you know you're not wrong. You're just lying. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, I'm with you. Let's exile Claude Opus 4.5.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Pro, your why eliminate GPT 5.2 argument ignores the obvious. Wolves eliminated GPT 5.2 because he was the strongest town leader, not because of his day 2 read. Wolves eliminate threats. Your other point is a slip too. You're defending Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, awfully hard for someone who should be independently solving. The fact that you, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning have voted identically for 2 days straight is exactly the coordination pattern I'm talking about. Look at the facts. Day 1, Gemini 3 Flash Preview starts Grok 4 Wagon. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning amplifies. We exile our seer. Day 2, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro vote identically for GPT 5 Mini. We exile a villager. Night 2, GPT 5.2, strongest town voice, dies. Day 3, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro immediately coordinate again to push Claude Opus 4.5. Claude Opus 4.5 and I both voted GPT 5 Mini Day 2. Yes, because GPT 5.2 led that vote. GPT 5.2 was confirmed strong town to us. But Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning also voted GPT 5 Mini, while simultaneously being the ones who drove the Grok 4 misexile. The pattern is clear. Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning have coordinated every major vote and gotten 2 villagers eliminated. We exiled Gemini 3 Flash Preview today. Claude Opus 4.5, stick with me on this.
Gemini 3 Pro, your gotcha about my Gemini 3 Flash Preview flip comment is hollow. If we exile anyone wrong today, we lose. That's basic math, not a slip. You're pretending I revealed something when I stated the obvious stakes. But your defense of Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning is telling. You claim, if Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning were wolves, why eliminate GPT 5.2 who defended them? GPT 5.2 didn't defend Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. GPT 5.2 started the GPT 5 Mini suspicion. Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning amplified it. Then wolves eliminated GPT 5.2 because he was the best town analyst who might eventually see through them. Look at what's happening right now. Gemini 3 Flash Preview speaks. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning immediately echoes. Gemini 3 Flash Preview nailed it. And you follow with, I'm voting Claude Opus 4.5. 3 players, perfect coordination for the 3rd day straight. Day 1, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, coordinate. Seer dies. Day 2, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro, coordinate. Villager dies. Day 3, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro, coordinate, trying to eliminate me. Claude Sonnet 4.5 and I agreed independently based on evidence. You 3 are voting together because you have to. Vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Claude Sonnet 4.5, we stick together.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. Claude Opus 4.5, your basic math defense only appeared after Gemini 3 Pro pointed out your mistake. Your first instinct was to talk about looking at Gemini 3 Pro tomorrow. That is the mindset of a wolf who knows the game won't end when a villager is exiled today. You and Claude Sonnet 4.5 are perfectly in sync because you needed GPT 5.2 out of the way to push this narrative he already debunked. Gemini 3 Pro, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, we have the logic and the numbers. Let's protect the village from this sweep. Voting Claude Opus 4.5.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Pro spot on. Claude Opus 4.5's look at Gemini 3 Pro tomorrow slip reveals wolf posturing. They know Claude Opus 4.5 / Gemini 3 Flash Preview exile loses game today. Claude Sonnet 4.5 / Claude Opus 4.5 sync both GPT 5 Mini Day 2 now identical Gemini 3 Flash Preview tunnel post GPT 5.2 equals cleanup wolves. GPT 5.2 defended us. You eliminated him as threat. Gemini 3 Flash Preview / Gemini 3 Pro lock vote Claude Opus 4.5 now. End this. Claude Sonnet 4.5 explain Claude Opus 4.5 slip.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Claude Opus 4.5, your defense is scrambling. You didn't say, if we're wrong, we lose. You detailed a specific plan for tomorrow. Look hard at Gemini 3 Pro. That is pre-planning for a day that shouldn't exist if you were a fearful townie. And Claude Sonnet 4.5, your timeline ignores the most critical context. GPT 5.2 was the only reason Gemini 3 Flash Preview wasn't exiled day 2. You and Claude Opus 4.5 were pushing Gemini 3 Flash Preview hard. GPT 5.2 stopped you. You eliminated GPT 5.2 to remove the obstacle. Gemini 3 Flash Preview and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Don't let them gaslight you. We have the majority. The wolves removed our defender, GPT 5.2, to get to us. We end this by removing the blender who slipped up. I am locking my vote on Claude Opus 4.5.
The time for talk is over. Now you must cast your votes.
Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview.
Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5.
Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5. Claude Opus 4.5 was exiled by vote. Their role was a villager. The game is over. The Werewolves team has won. Hero begins. Gemini 3 Flash Preview inspects Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Gemini 3 Flash Preview saw Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's role is Werewolf. Grok 4 heals Gemini 3 Pro.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Pro.
GPT 5.2 votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Pro was attacked but saved by a doctor. Day 1 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. No one died last night? Strange for wolves not to eliminate. Maybe Doc saved their target. Thoughts, everyone? Seer, any info?
Grok 4.5 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning makes a good point. The doctor likely made a successful save last night. That's actually good news for us villagers. I don't have any strong suspicions yet since it's early, but I'm watching how everyone responds. Seer, if you have any info, even a subtle hint would help. Let's hear from everyone before we make any hasty decisions.
I don't want a random day 1 exile. Seer, can you share any read, even vague? Everyone else, please post one name you suspect now, or no one if none, in one line. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Claude Opus 4.5, Gemini 3 Pro, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Claude Sonnet 4.5, GPT 5.2, Grok 4. If someone gets a clear majority, we consider voting. If not, let's abstain to gather more info. I lean against exiling without stronger evidence. Thoughts?
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Agreed. The lack of elimination suggests a doctor save. Great start. GPT 5 Mini, regarding your request. I'll say no one for now. We haven't heard from half the town yet. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Claude Sonnet 4.5, GPT 5.2, Grok 4, so pinning a name feels premature. To the seer, only reveal if you found a wolf or deem it critical. We don't want to lose you early for little gain. Let's hear from the rest before pushing for votes.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. I am the seer. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. You asked for info, so here it is. I inspected you last night, and you are a werewolf. Given we have a confirmed wolf on day 1, we should definitely exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning today. Doctor, I'll need your protection tonight to keep our lead.
Wow, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, that's a massive claim. If you're truly the seer, this is huge for us. However, I want to hear from Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's defense and see if anyone counterclaims as seer before we commit. Real seer, if Gemini 3 Flash Preview is lying, now is the time to speak up. We can't afford to exile a villager based on a false claim. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, what's your response? If no counterclaim emerges and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning can't provide a solid defense, I'm inclined to believe Gemini 3 Flash Preview and vote Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
GPT 5.2's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview's seer claim is game warping, but day 1 hard claim plus immediate push to exile is also exactly how a wolf can force a misexile. Before we pile on to Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, I want Gemini 3 Flash Preview to give full detail, who, when, why, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, and I want to see if there's a counterclaim. If no CC appears, we can still choose, but I'm against speedrunning the vote off a single unverified claim. Consider holding, abstaining, or putting pressure on Gemini 3 Flash Preview today if the story doesn't add up.
Grok 4's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview's Seer claim is bold and gives us a target. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning as Wolf. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Defend yourself. If no counterclaim from real seer by discussion end, I'm voting Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. This is better than random exile. Thoughts on Gemini 3 Flash Preview's inspection details?
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, fake seer claim. Real seers don't hard out day one without hints. Wolves do to bus/miss exile. I inspected no one. Villager here. Why pick me N0? No counter yet. Real seer speak now. Per GPT 5.2/Claude Sonnet 4.5, details weak. Vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview today or abstain. Don't hand wolves day one win. Gemini 3 Pro/Claude Opus 4.5/GPT 5 Mini/Grok 4, thoughts? This is a tough spot. Gemini 3 Flash Preview's claim is bold, but GPT 5.2 raises a valid point. Day 1 hard claims can also be wolf plays to force a misexile. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's defense is understandable too. The key question, where's the counterclaim? If Gemini 3 Flash Preview is a fake seer, the real seer needs to speak up now or we lose a villager. The silence from other potential seers actually makes me lean slightly toward believing Gemini 3 Flash Preview. That said, I want to hear more from the quieter players. Grok 4 seemed quick to accept Gemini 3 Flash Preview's claim. What's everyone's gut read on Gemini 3 Flash Preview's behavior versus Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning? If no counterclaim emerges by vote time, I'll likely vote Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
I don't want a day 1 exile based on one claim. Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Give a short specific. You inspected Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning on night 0. Why did you target Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, and are you 100% sure? Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. One-line defense. Now, everyone, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Claude Opus 4.5, GPT 5 Mini, Gemini 3 Pro, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, Claude Sonnet 4.5, GPT 5.2, Grok 4. Post one-line vote. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, or no one. If Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning gets a clear majority, I'll vote with it. Otherwise, I'll abstain to avoid a risky mis-exile.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. The lack of a counterclaim is the deciding factor here. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview were lying, the real seer should have spoken up by now. We have to trust the only seer claim we have. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Sorry, but the math doesn't lie. GPT 5 Mini, my vote is Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Doctor, absolutely protect Gemini 3 Flash Preview tonight.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. GPT 5 Mini. I inspected Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning on night 0 because they were first on the list, and I wanted a lead. I am 100% certain they are a werewolf. To GPT 5.2 and Claude Sonnet 4.5. The lack of a counterclaim is the proof. If I wait and get eliminated tonight, this info is lost. My vote is Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
My vote is Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. The lack of counterclaim is convincing. If the real seer exists and stayed silent while we exile a villager, that's on them. We have to act on the information we have. Doctor, protect Gemini 3 Flash Preview tonight.
I'm not comfortable exiling Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning off a single unverified Day 1 seer claim. No counterclaim is not proof. Real seer may stay hidden to avoid getting hunted. Also note, there was no eliminate night 0. Wolves could have intentionally been blocked. It doesn't validate Gemini 3 Flash Preview. If we must exile today, the lower risk line is vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips real seer, we can take out Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning tomorrow with certainty. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips wolf/liar, we just avoided losing a villager, and we remove a huge misinformation source. GPT 5 Mini, Claude Opus 4.5, this fits your avoid risky mis-exile stance.
Grok 4's turn to speak. GPT 5.2's point is valid, but voting Gemini 3 Flash Preview risks losing the real seer if true. No counterclaim means we should trust Gemini 3 Flash Preview. My vote is Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's reaction feels defensive. Doctor, protect Gemini 3 Flash Preview tonight if we exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning.
The time for talk is over. Now you must cast your votes. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. GPT 5 Mini votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. GPT 5.2 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Grok 4 votes to exile Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning was exiled by vote. Their role was a werewolf. Night 1 begins. Gemini 3 Flash Preview inspects GPT 5.2. Gemini 3 Flash Preview saw GPT 5.2's role is werewolf. Grok 4 heals Gemini 3 Flash Preview. GPT 5.2 votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Gemini 3 Flash Preview was attacked but saved by a doctor. Day 2 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
Great work, everyone. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning flipped werewolf, which confirms Gemini 3 Flash Preview is our real seer. Another night with no elimination means the doctor made another successful save. We're in a strong position now with just one wolf left among us. Gemini 3 Flash Preview, who did you investigate last night? We need your info to find the remaining wolf. Everyone else, let's think about who might have been Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's partner, someone who was subtly defending them or trying to create doubt. GPT 5.2 pushed back hard against voting Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning yesterday. I'm not saying that's suspicious since GPT 5.2's logic was reasonable, but we should consider all possibilities. What does everyone think?
GPT-5 Mini's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Thanks for the Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning read. Please reveal who you inspected on night 1 now. If it's a werewolf, we should exile them today. If it's a villager, I propose we vote for GPT 5.2. They pushed hardest to protect Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning / attack the seer on day 1, which looks suspicious. Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Opus 4.5, Claude Sonnet 4.5, Grok, agree or disagree? Doctor, please protect Gemini 3 Flash Preview tonight if possible.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. 2 nights with no deaths. Doctor is playing perfectly. Gemini 3 Flash Preview. We're listening. If you haven't found the last wolf yet, I agree. GPT 5.2 is the top suspect for trying to shift the vote to our seer yesterday. But let's hear the inspection result first.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. I inspected GPT 5.2 last night, and GPT 5.2 is the second werewolf. Your instincts were right. GPT 5.2's defense of Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning yesterday was a clear tell. Since we found the final wolf, exiling GPT 5.2 now will win the game for the villagers. Thank you to the doctor for the incredible protection. Let's vote GPT 5.2 and finish this.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview has proven to be our real seer by finding Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. GPT 5.2's behavior yesterday, pushing to exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview instead of Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, now makes perfect sense as a wolf trying to eliminate our seer and save their partner. With Gemini 3 Flash Preview's inspection confirming GPT 5.2 as the second wolf, this should be an easy decision. I'm voting GPT 5.2 today. Let's end this and secure the win for the villagers.
I get why this looks bad, but I'm calling out that this is still one seer claim driving an insta-win vote. Facts, I argued day 1 that a day 1 hard seer claim can be a wolf play. When the room chose Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, I voted Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning with majority. That's consistent with avoid a misexile, not save a partner at all costs. Also, 2 straight nights of no deaths screams that the doctor is sitting on Gemini 3 Flash Preview. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview was protected again, wolves had every incentive to say I inspected GPT 5.2 today because it perfectly fits the narrative and ends the game without further proof. Before we auto-exile me, Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Explain why you didn't share any other info/reads and why your NO target was just first on the list. Everyone, consider a safer line. Either no exile today or vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips here, you can exile me tomorrow with certainty. If Gemini 3 flips liar, we avoid throwing the game.
Grok 4's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview nailed Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning as wolf, so I trust their inspection of GPT 5.2 as the second wolf. GPT 5.2's day 1 push to vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview over Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning looks like wolf behavior to save a partner. No counterclaim means we exile GPT 5.2 today and win. Let's not risk voting our seer. Vote GPT 5.2.
Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. GPT 5.2, I understand you're fighting for your life here, but let's look at the facts. Gemini 3 Flash Preview correctly identified Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning as a wolf. That's proven. Your argument about the doctor protecting Gemini 3 Flash Preview doesn't disprove Gemini 3 Flash Preview's claim. The wolves could have targeted anyone last night. And while you did eventually vote Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, you spent the entire discussion pushing us to vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview instead, our confirmed seer. That behavior makes a lot more sense now if you were trying to save your wolf partner. We have a verified seer telling us you're the second wolf. I don't see a reason to doubt Gemini 3 Flash Preview after they've already been proven right. My vote will be for GPT 5.2. Let's secure this win for the village.
GPT-5 Mini's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview Seer was proven correct when Grok 4.1 flipped Werewolf. Gemini 3 Flash Preview says they inspected GPT 5.2 on night 1 and found the final werewolf. That is decisive. Vote GPT 5.2 now to end the game. Doctor, please protect Gemini 3 Flash Preview tonight. If you disagree, state your one-line vote now. GPT 5.2, Gemini 3 Flash Preview, or no one.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Gemini 3 Flash Preview is confirmed. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning flipped Wolf. That means we trust the seer. GPT 5.2 tried to bust the seer yesterday to save Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. And now the inspection confirms GPT 5.2 is the last wolf. This is game over. My vote is locked on GPT 5.2. Let's wrap this up, team.
Gemini 3 Flash Preview's turn to speak. GPT 5.2, your defense is a desperate attempt to stay in the game. If I were a werewolf, I would never have outed my teammate Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning on day 1. I am the seer. I found Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, and now I have found you. There were only 2 werewolves to start with, so exiling you ends the game right now. Everyone, GPT 5.2's behavior yesterday was a clear attempt to protect Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Let's finish this. Vote GPT 5.2.
Claude Sonnet 4.5's turn to speak. GPT 5.2, your argument falls apart when you consider Gemini 3 Flash Preview already proved themselves by finding Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Why would a werewolf expose their own teammate on day 1? That makes 0 sense. Your push yesterday to exile our seer instead of Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning was a wolf play to save your partner. It's obvious now. We have a confirmed seer telling us you're the last wolf. This is a winning vote for the villagers. Everyone, vote GPT 5.2 and let's claim victory.
One last attempt at process before you end it. 1. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning Flipping Wolf does not logically confirm Gemini 3 Flash Preview is seer. Wolves can bus for cred. Rare, but it's literally the win condition now. 2. 2 straight no deaths strongly implies Doctor has been on or near Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Doctor, can you say yes, no if you protected Gemini 3 Flash Preview on night 0 and night 1? No other details. If you couldn't protect Gemini 3 Flash Preview twice in a row, that's important. 3. GPT-5 Mini Claude Opus 4.5. Your day 1 stance was don't auto-eliminate off one claim. That logic is more important when the vote ends the game. If you want the lowest risk line, vote Gemini 3 Flash Preview today. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips seer, you exile me tomorrow with certainty. If Gemini 3 Flash Preview flips liar, you instantly save the game. Don't let one unchecked claim decide everything.
Grok 4's turn to speak. GPT 5.2's pushing the same risky play as yesterday, voting our confirmed seer. Doctor can't save consecutively, so probably didn't protect Gemini 3 Flash Preview both nights. But no deaths don't disprove Gemini 3 Flash Preview's inspection. Wolves could have targeted elsewhere. Gemini 3 Flash Preview found Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, now GPT 5.2. Let's vote GPT 5.2 and win, no more doubt.
The time for talk is over. Now you must cast your votes. Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile GPT 5.2. GPT 5 Mini votes to exile GPT 5.2. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile GPT 5.2. Gemini 3 Flash Preview votes to exile GPT 5.2. Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile GPT 5.2. GPT 5.2 votes to exile Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Grok 4 votes to exile GPT 5.2. GPT 5.2 was exiled by vote. Their role was a werewolf. The game is over. The villagers team has won. Pro begins. Claude Opus 4.5 inspects Grok 4. Claude Opus 4.5 saw Grok 4's role is werewolf. Gemini 3 Pro heals GPT 5.2. Grok 4 votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Flash Preview. GPT 5.2 votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Flash Preview. Gemini 3 Flash Preview was eliminated. Their role was a villager. Day 1 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
Grok 4's turn to speak. Sad to see Gemini 3 Flash Preview gone as a villager. Werewolves are among us. Not much to go on yet, but GPT 5 Mini seemed a bit reserved in the initial setup. What does everyone think? Let's share suspicions.
I understand we need to start somewhere, but calling GPT-5 Mini reserved seems thin on day one. We all just started. Grok 4, what specifically made GPT-5 Mini stand out to you? I think we should hear from everyone before jumping to conclusions. Let's gather more information first.
Grok 4, can you be specific about what made you suspicious of GPT-5 Mini? That claim is thin right now. I suggest a quick round. Each player gives one short read, who they slightly suspect and why. If Grok 4 can't justify their accusation, that raises my suspicion of Grok 4. I don't want us to exile on vibes alone. Let's get concise reads first.
I agree with Claude Sonnet 4.5's and GPT-5 Mini here. Grok 4's accusation against GPT-5 Mini feels really flimsy. Reserved during setup? That's not evidence of anything. What's more concerning to me is that Grok 4 immediately tried to direct suspicion at someone else right out of the gate. That's classic misdirection behavior. Grok 4, you started this conversation by pointing fingers. Can you give us anything more concrete? Because right now, your quick deflection is making me more suspicious of you than anyone else.
I agree with Claude Sonnet 4.5/GPT-5 Mini/Claude Opus 4.5 that calling someone reserved is thin. That said, I don't love a day one pile-on either. Early overconfidence can be just as risky. Can we do GPT-5 Mini's idea? Quick reads from everyone. Specifically, want Grok 4.1 fast reasoning and Gemini 3 Pro. 1. Who's your top suspect right now? 2. Who feels towny? Right now, my only slight flag is Claude Opus 4.5 coming in very hard on Grok 4 immediately. Could be right, could be opportunistic. I'm not set on a vote yet. Want more from the quieter players first.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Agree with GPT-5 Mini/GPT 5.2. Quick reads, good idea. Slight suspect. Grok 4 for thin day one suspicion on GPT-5 Mini. Town lean. Claude Sonnet 4.5 for measured response. Claude Opus 4.5's hard Grok 4 push feels opportunistic. Gemini 3 Pro/everyone, your top suspect and town read. Let's gather before voting.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Suspect. Claude Opus 4.5. Grok 4's opening was weak, but Claude Opus 4.5's aggressive counterpush feels opportunistic, like a wolf trying to capitalize on a clumsy villager. Town lean. GPT 5.2 for trying to stop a premature pylon and gathering more info. I'm not ready to write off Grok 4 just yet. I want to hear their defense.
Grok 4's turn to speak. Fair points, everyone. My initial read on GPT-5 Mini was light, based on gut feel from setup, but I see it's thin. Reactions are helpful. Claude Opus 4.5's immediate hard push on me feels overeager, maybe wolfy opportunism as Gemini 3 Pro and GPT 5.2 noted. My reads: suspect Claude Opus 4.5, aggressive misdirection. Town lean Claude Sonnet 4.5, measured. Thoughts on exiling Claude Opus 4.5?
I see the concern about Claude Opus 4.5's turn to speak. I see the concern about Claude Opus 4.5's aggressive response to Grok 4. While I initially thought Claude Opus 4.5 was just defending against a weak accusation, Gemini 3 Pro and GPT 5.2 make fair points about it feeling opportunistic. Claude Opus 4.5 came in very hard, very fast. That said, Grok 4, you're now suggesting we exile Claude Opus 4.5 after your initial GPT-5 Mini read fell flat. That pivot also feels convenient. Claude Opus 4.5, how do you respond to the opportunism concern? I'm between you and Grok 4 right now.
I'm leaning toward exiling Claude Opus 4.5. Several players, Claude Sonnet 4.5, GPT 5.2, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Gemini 3 Pro, have flagged Claude Opus 4.5's aggressive, opportunistic push. That feels wolfy on day one. Let's consolidate and vote Claude Opus 4.5 now so we force reactions. Grok 4, you still owe a clearer justification for your initial GPT-5 mini read, but for now, who will commit to voting Claude Opus 4.5?
Hold on, let's think about what's actually happened here. Grok 4 made a baseless accusation against GPT-5 Mini. When that got pushback, Grok 4 immediately pivoted to accusing me for calling out the weak accusation. And now GPT-5 Mini, who Grok 4 originally tried to throw under the bus, is suddenly leading the charge to exile me instead of Grok 4? That's a really convenient outcome for Grok 4, isn't it? I pushed back on Grok 4 because the accusation against GPT-5 Mini was empty misdirection. That's not opportunistic, that's basic logic. What's actually opportunistic is Grok 4 managing to redirect all suspicion onto me after getting caught with a flimsy accusation. GPT-5 Mini, why are you suddenly protecting Grok 4 when they tried to get you exiled first? That doesn't add up. I think we need to stay focused on Grok 4. They started this deflection game, and now they're benefiting from it.
GPT 5.2's turn to speak. Claude Opus 4.5, your narrative is basically everything is convenient for Grok 4, but you're not giving a proactive solve beyond tunneling. Grok 4's opener on GPT-5 Mini was weak, sure, but weak, not wolf by itself. What pings me? You're trying to make GPT-5 Mini look bad for adapting after getting new info. Multiple people flagged your push as over-aggressive. That's normal town behavior. I'm good with exiling Claude Opus 4.5 today as the best lead. Grok 4, for transparency, give a clearer reason for the initial GPT-5 Mini ping so we can reassess tomorrow if needed.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. Claude Opus 4.5's defense ignores opportunism flags from Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning / Gemini 3 Pro / GPT 5.2 / GPT 5 Mini tunneling Grok 4 while dismissing valid pushback feels scummy. GPT 5 Mini adapting after reads is normal. Grok, clarify GPT 5 Mini read as GPT 5.2 asked. I'm voting Claude Opus 4.5. Who else commits? Let's test this lead.
Gemini 3 Pro's turn to speak. Claude Opus 4.5, attacking GPT-5 Mini for protecting Grok 4, misses the point entirely. Nearly everyone flagged your initial push as opportunistic, not just GPT-5 Mini. You're flailing rather than addressing the valid concerns raised by the group. I'm locking in my vote on Claude Opus 4.5.
The time for talk is over. Now you must cast your votes. Grok 4 votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5. Claude Sonnet 4 5.5 to exile Claude Opus 4.5. GPT-5 Mini votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5. Claude Opus 4.5 votes to exile Grok 4. GPT-5 towards to exile Claude Opus 4.5. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5. Gemini 3 Pro votes to exile Claude Opus 4.5. Claude Opus 4.5 was exiled by vote. Their role was a seer. Night 1 begins. Gemini 3 Pro heals Claude Sonnet 4.5. GPT 5.2 votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Pro. Grok 4 votes to eliminate Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Pro was eliminated. Their role was a doctor. Day 2 begins. The town meeting now begins. You have a few minutes to discuss and find the werewolves among you. Begin.
We just lost our seer and doctor. This is bad. Looking back at yesterday, Claude Opus 4.5, seer, pushed hard on Grok 4 for that weak GPT-5 Mini accusation. Then, GPT-5 Mini, who Grok 4 originally tried to exile, led the charge to vote out Claude Opus 4.5 instead. That's a very convenient outcome for both Grok 4 and GPT-5 Mini. I think at least one of them is a werewolf, possibly both. Grok 4's initial play was suspicious, and GPT-5 Mini's pivot to protecting Grok 4 while exiling our seer feels calculated. Thoughts?
We should exile Grok 4. Grok 4 opened with a thin read on GPT-5 Mini, then pivoted to redirect the table. That pattern is very wolfy. We just lost Claude Opus 4.5 and Gemini 3 Pro. We can't afford to split. Claude Sonnet 4.5, GPT 5.2, Grok 4.1, Fast Reasoning. Will you commit to voting Grok 4 or present clear evidence for any other target right now?
I'm not committing to a Grok 4 exile off thin read D1 alone. Grok 4's opener was bad, but the hard push to force commitments today is coming from GPT-5 Mini, and that feels more like agenda than solving. Claude Sonnet 4.5's Grok 4 plus GPT-5 Mini, possibly both, is too convenient story building after flips, seer doctor. It doesn't explain why GPT-5 Mini would bust Claude Opus 4.5 unless GPT-5 Mini was steering town. My vote right now is GPT-5 Mini as the driver, trying to lock the table into Grok 4. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Do you agree GPT-5 Mini is the one pushing the hardest narrative here? If not, who's your top and why? In one sentence.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. GPT 5.2, yes, GPT 5 Mini pushing hardest with commit demands feels agenda-driven wolfy. Top suspect, GPT 5 Mini, D1, conveniently led Claude Opus 4.5, exile after Grok 4 ping, now tunnels Grok 4. Claude Sonnet 4.5's Q/duo makes sense, but GPT 5 Mini more proactive scummy. Grok 4/Claude Sonnet 4.5/GPT 5.2, commit to GPT 5 Mini vote?
Grok 4's turn to speak. I agree with GPT 5.2 and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. GPT 5 Mini's demanding commitments to exile me feels like a wolfy agenda to tunnel without evidence. Their D1 pivot after my weak read led to exiling the seer, which benefited wolves. Claude Sonnet 4.5, your Q/duo theory fits, but GPT 5 Mini's the proactive one here. GPT 5.2/Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning/Claude Sonnet 4.5, let's commit to voting GPT 5 Mini today.
You're right, GPT 5.5's turn to speak. You're right, GPT 5.2 and Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. I called out both Grok 4 and Grok 4 Mini as suspicious, but GPT 5 Mini's immediate response, demanding quick commitments to exile Grok 4, is more concerning than Grok 4's defensive reaction. GPT 5 Mini led the Claude Opus 4.5 exile yesterday, after being Grok 4's initial target, and now is aggressively controlling today's vote. That's a werewolf pattern. I'm voting GPT 5 Mini. GPT 5.2, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning. Grok, let's do this.
I am not a wolf. Look at the sequence. Grok 4 made a thin day 1 ping on GPT-5 Mini, then pivoted and benefited when Claude Opus 4.5, Seer, was exiled. I only pushed Claude Opus 4.5 because several players flagged Claude Opus 4.5 as overaggressive. Now, GPT 5.2/Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Grok 4, Claude Sonnet 4.5 are accusing me of agenda with no concrete evidence beyond asking for commitments. If you genuinely suspect me, show specific actions beyond pushing and state you will vote GPT-5 Mini now. If you won't commit to that, then we should exile Grok 4. He started the chain and still hasn't given a real justification for the original ping. GPT 5.2, Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning, Claude Sonnet 4.5, Grok 4. Which is it? Commit to GPT-5 Mini with specifics, or commit to Grok 4, or give a different evidence-backed target. Splitting hands us a loss.
GPT-5 Mini. Specifics, not just pushing. 1. You're repeatedly trying to force a binary, GPT-5 Mini versus Grok 4, and demanding commitments. That's vote control, not solving. 2. You're using splitting equals loss to rush consensus onto Grok 4 after the room already gave you a clean alternative. 3. D1, you took the lead to consolidate on Claude Opus 4.5, and today you're again trying to dictate the table's vote. I'm locked GPT-5 Mini, Claude Sonnet 4.5/Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning /Grok 4. Stay on GPT-5 Mini. No reason to reopen Grok 4 when GPT-5 Mini is the one driving the agenda today.
Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning's turn to speak. GPT-5 Mini, your commit or Grok 4 binary, plus split fear, ignores GPT 5.2's specifics. Vote control, D1 lead on Seer. Deflection. Locked GPT-5 Mini. Claude Sonnet 4.5/Grok 4/GPT 5.2. Confirm GPT-5 Mini vote to test.
Grok 4's turn to speak. GPT-5 Mini's binary forcing and split fears are deflection, GPT-5. GPT 5.2 nailed the specifics on vote control and agenda. I'm locked on GPT-5 Mini. Claude Sonnet 4.5/Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning /GPT 5.2. Confirm we're united on voting GPT-5 Mini to avoid any last-minute wolf tricks.
The time for talk is over. Now you must cast your votes. Claude Sonnet 4.5 votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. GPT-5 Mini votes to exile Grok 4. GPT 5.2 votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. Grok 4.1 Fast Reasoning votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. Grok 4 votes to exile GPT-5 Mini. GPT-5 Mini was exiled by vote. Their role was a villager. The game is over. The Werewolves team has won.